going. All right. And good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the KRIM studio, and it's time for our Community Spotlight program. Hope everyone enjoyed that rain last night. It was a nice rain. Got a little wild there, I know, here at the KRIM Cottage on West Frontier Street, but hopefully everyone got some good precipitation wherever they were. It's great to see that here in Rim Country. But this morning we have Banner Payson Medical Center in the studio. Again, if you're listening on the radio, you can also watch on the KRIM FM Facebook page. We do a Facebook Live each morning of our Community Spotlight program. It's also on our YouTube channel, KRIM 96.3 FM. So whichever way is easier. And I know love seeing people from not only all over the community and the state, but even outside the state of Arizona, watching our Spotlight program. So big thank you to all of those and everyone listening on the radio as well. Again, in the studio, Banner Payson Medical Center and CEO Hoyt Skabelund. Good morning, Hoyt.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming in every month. Each month we feature Banner Payson Medical Center on the third Wednesday, I believe, of every month. And so it's a pleasure having you in to share with the community what is happening at Banner Payson Medical Center. And there's a lot. There's a lot going on, and there's going to be some really big things happening soon.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of this week. So
yes.
Friday we would welcome the community to come from 1 to 3. We'll be having an open house sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, which we're so grateful for Maya and team. They're so good at the ribbon cuttings and positive energy. Wow.
Oh yeah.
So we're having that open house from 1 to 3. The ribbon cutting, the formal ribbon cutting for the 3D mammography. So that's the open house. That 3D mammography machine is up and running. We've been treating patients. We appreciate those who were waiting while we had the installation occurring. The old unit was no longer being used. We needed that room. So there was a little bit of a backlog, and we appreciate the patience of those that waited and now have had that new technology applied for their safety and saving lives is how we say it. We hope that we don't find cancer in anyone. However, if cancer's there, we want to find it, and this technology allows us to have a early detection. We're going to be doing some demos on Friday during that 1 to 3 open house. They're going to be mammographing an apple. And I've told you that before, is that this it's the best way to show those of us that are not clinically trained how powerful it helps. Oh yeah, now I see. As you can see the peeling of the apple, and then you see the meat of the apple, and then you see when the core begins and when the seed begins, and so you're able to see how when the breast specialist the radiologist is looking at the images, you get to see how they get to see things that in the traditional mammography you wouldn't be able to see. Now, these are the really finite lumps or cancerous tissue, the potentially cancerous tissue. So it'd be kind of fun to show it in a way that Hoyt can understand it, and that's mammoing an apple.
And this is open to the general public?
Anyone that would like to come.
Anyone that would like to come
1 to 3.
I think that's great because, like you said, people can see firsthand the difference and how much better this
machine
works than
when I saw the first demonstration of a 3D mammogram a couple of years ago. It's powerful. We're so blessed to live in this age, and when it comes to health. I'm sitting in the dental chair this morning having my 6-month cleaning, and I'm one of those people that if it weren't for hygienists and dentists, I'd probably really be struggling. I've had dental challenges in my life, and I have great hygiene now, but early in my life, I wasn't diligent and paid a price for that. But without the doctors, the dentists, the hygienists, there's just so many nurses and lab, and we live at a time when so much science has been revealed, and we understand the body better. We certainly have a long ways to go to ever get to the level that God understands. We'll never get there, but sure. He's revealed an awful lot, and it's fun to be part of it and to save lives.
Well, and I think even thinking back to yesterday's program, completely different topic. It was we had guests in, a couple members from the Payson Fire Department and an officer from the Payson Police Department, but talking about our community risk reduction program. But it was all about preventing and preventative. And even today, talking about this 3D mammography machine, it's about preventing, and the technology, like you're saying, we have to detect earlier and to prevent whether it's cancer or whatever the disease is from progressing further, so it can be treated and people have a better chance of survival and also better chance for a better quality of life.
I'm grateful to your points. I'm grateful for the worldwide, especially United States, national focus on things like pink out at the rodeo, pink out at volleyball and basketball. The attention to breast cancer and the donations that have come through Wrangler with the rodeos have led to advances where, if breast cancer is detected early, and many times more than in the past, we can actually treat that cancer and prevent and save a life. Unfortunately, there are still certain types of cancers that even with early detection are not always treatable to the extent we would like, but life can be lengthened, quality of life can be improved. But many times with breast cancer, life can be saved, and so that's one part of medicine, due to the community support, fundraising, etc. That the research continues. We've made great advances in this area, so we're embracing it fully. Dr. Horn does breast surgery at the hospital, and we've got our visiting oncologist, and so our goal is to grow our ability to keep as many people safely here in our country for their convenience, their health, to treat breast cancer from beginning to end. And then we have our connections with Banner MD Anderson in those special cases when we need to refer a patient to a subspecialist for some reason for those more difficult cancers. And so our goal, and we may never achieve it as to the full extent we wish, but is to just grow our services to create as much convenient care for people in the most difficult times of their life, so you can avoid a 90-minute drive and the hassle of the busier city. And we can bring those specialists up here, and we're doing a good job. I want to do a shout out to the MHA Foundation for their magnificent donation and gift that made the 3D mammography purchase possible. And it's a partnership, and we're grateful for that. And the employees and medical staff and volunteers at the hospital, they donated monies that the MHA Foundation matched, and then Banner donated monies which the foundation matched as well. So it was a three-way effort: employees and staff, Banner Health, and the MHA Foundation.
Love seeing the collaborations, and it's awesome. Great. That's how these things get done. And again, that is, when is that? That's this Friday.
This Friday.
From
1 to 3. The ribbon cutting itself and with some photos will be at 1:30 with Maya in the chamber. But the open house 1 to 3.
And the location, that's in?
Great question. I think it's 127 East Main Street, so it's right there across from the clinics. So if you're coming across the Beeline, come up, there's clinics to your left, and there's Dr. Michael's Ponderosa Family Care Clinic is borders right next to our outpatient imaging center.
There we go.
It's at 127 East Main. I think we're Suite A, or B and C is where the imaging and the mammography is.
Okay, and again, that's open to the public, and if you have an opportunity to swing in there, anytime between, I would imagine, the 1 and 3, to get information on the new 3D mammography machine. That's exciting.
Our team will be there to answer questions. Heather's amazing. The mammography techs are especially trained and passionate, and the goal is the comfort of men and women. I've mentioned this to you in previous programs, but we perform mammography studies on men with lumps or other issues, or who have a genetic predisposition to breast cancer. Usually, I think it's on average about 5 times a month, which that was surprising to me. I was not aware of breast cancer being a male malady, but both genders can suffer it. Far more common in women, of course, but we're saving men's lives too.
There we go. And want to say good morning to Gina Dr. Lara watching on our KRIM Live. And again, we are streaming on our KRIM FM Facebook page, talking to Banner Payson Medical Center CEO Hoyt Skabelund this morning. So that is exciting. What else did you want to share this morning?
Well, I thought we've talked about this on your previous programs, but I think it's good to reiterate some of our progress with the schools. I think your KRIM is a big supporter of the schools. I think you'll appreciate our efforts to try to be a better corporate citizen in the community with the schools. So we were able to be a contributor to the to fund the entire refurbishing of the dome floor, necessitated by the University of Texas logo dilemma, having to resurface. But for 10 years that floor will now be in great shape. It turned out better than we thought, and Ryan Shirley and Linda Gibson are super happy, and we're grateful for the invitation for us to be able to make a gift and support our youth and healthy lifestyles and trying to be active. And I attended the Athletic Hall of Fame, but that is an amazing tradition here. My daughter's coaching JV volleyball down in Duncan, and son-in-law's coaching football there, and I'm not sure how many communities have a Hall of Fame with what a strong tradition. It was inspiring. I left. The golf team was that was a totally cool highlight of that team, and to hear their amazing performance. I think it was 2001, and then the talk. I was able to visit with the team and the coach, and that was neat. And then the four other individual athletes that were recognized, just some stellar people, and to hear their advice for other young athletes, and to hear of their Laura Ryden is our chief nursing officer, and she was one of those, and she's so humble. She has not shared with us her accomplishments, and her track coach got up there and elaborated, and what a great tradition. And I think that strong athletic programs help reduce dropout rates. It's a fact. And to keep people active and healthy, the endorphins that come from exercise help prevent depression, and there's so many benefits. And I think sports, like other extracurricular activities like FFA and choral groups and drama, you go through emotional roller coasters. Welcome to life. I think it's great life prep, and so I'm proud. You can tell I'm passionate about it. Proud to be part of Payson Schools, and for Banner to be financial support and the benefit of the schools.
It is, and when I think of Payson with our schools and just Payson in general, and I'll give an example of this, a recent example, I think of no limits. No limits. We're a small community, 16,000, whatever we're at now, but really there are no limits to what we can do as a community when we band together. And a recent example of that is the Wall That Heals, and the small group of individuals, the committee that worked for 3 years to get that wall here. Well, on its tour, it's pretty late into its tour, the amount of people that visited that wall here in Payson was more than any other city or town it's been in the country.
Isn't that something? Say something about Payson.
It says something about Payson. Over 11,000 people visited the wall here in Payson, Arizona, and that they were told, the committee members were told, if you get 7,500, that would be amazing. That would be great if you get 7,500 people out there. And there were over 11,000 people, and it was because of the efforts of the community. There were so many people in the community. That committee worked tirelessly to get it here, and then organizations and people in the community just got it out everywhere. The escort, the riders that rode in with it, the volunteers that were out there.
The football team.
The football team helping.
Now apparently Washington, D.C., the organizers of that Wall That Heals, that they learned from the town organizers using the football team and others, that they learned some things. Hey, we should do this. We should ask every town to do what Payson has done because it worked so well.
Yeah, and it was us coming together. It was our community doing what our community does. The town of Payson, the Parks Rec and Tourism Department, there was a piece of the frame, a weld that broke. They took it, welded it, painted it, looked brand new. And it wasn't just, a spot weld, here you go, we'll call it good. But properly done to show respect to the wall and all the individuals on the wall.
I know there were lots of volunteers, and I knew some volunteers from our church who helped, and they put on white gloves, the honor shown the display to honor those who fought for our country. Banner was proud to be one of the sponsors, and we are grateful for the veterans in this community. It's a big part of our population. And
it is.
It's another area. The schools and youth and the veterans are two areas where Banner is anxious to show our respect and our support. Hats off to the town and to those who serve on the council and to the employees of the town, the foresight to bring that wall here.
It was great. And another example with schools, our construction technology program with Chris Harrell as the instructor, and his 4-person team that they won the state competition, so best in the state. They went to the national competition, finished 8th in the country. And the young man, Chris Wheeler, who was the electrician in the group, was recognized as having the best wiring in the entire country.
That's amazing.
Out of that group. So I mean, no limits. There are really no limits. And how that came about was the support that Chris gets in the program from companies, from businesses, from individuals. The support from people in the community, just the efforts that he put in, and then the kids buying into it, the students buying into it and saying, you know what, we're going to give it everything. We're going to give it our everything, and let's see what happens.
Like the scoreboard donation by a local business, it's a sizable gift, and there's some of these local businesses amaze me, and the proportion that they give is significant, and it's pretty powerful.
Well, and that's what I liked how you used the phrase corporate citizen, where you find, and it's easy to I guess be hard or dog corporations. So what do corporations do? They take the money, and here it is, taking money from a community, or just taking money and all these big this, that, whatever. But when you're viewing, I guess, your corporation, that was a great term, a corporate citizen.
So feel strongly about it.
Yeah, so you're just a citizen. Your entity is like a citizen in the community that is giving back to the community.
And we're a member of the chamber. We are one of the core sponsors there, and upped our sponsorship there. We know that that we benefit from being in this community, and we hope that we're giving back equal in proportion, and because good care with broader services, being present, helping. I've been invited to assist with economic development, and the college, all of these things. That the phrase we always use is, it takes a village. Well, it takes a lot of people with similar values striving for the same thing.
Yeah. And
it's a team. We're individual players on the team, and we each need to bring our talents and our unique abilities. And if we do that, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. And you brought up another example, the nursing program at Gila Community College, ranked #1 in the country.
Unbelievable.
Literally ranked #1, not an exexaggeration, not saying that to
100% pass rate for the graduates. Tough curriculum.
Yes.
It is not a program for the weak.
No.
When those nurses graduate, they pass their exams, and they have had a great experience. I think sometimes, and sometimes we're guilty of this. When you live in a rural setting, we will often, we're tough on ourselves. We're tough critics because what we want, but then we are not as willing to recognize when things are legitimately amazing. And I think we are about our beauty of this area, but we sometimes are tough to accept facts that are shared about excellence. And like the Wall that Heals, that was the best turnout in the nation in a rural community. Yeah. And the way that was done was the best in the nation. Yeah. And so as much division as there is, and boy, there's times when I'm like, that's all you hear about is what we don't agree on. Yeah. In reality,
We agree
we're pretty
on a lot
darn
more.
good
Yeah.
at agreeing on things that matter, and
Yes.
we do those things right. But some people will not accept that,
Yeah.
and they pride themselves on only criticizing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be my plea to the listeners, and me included, is come on,
Yeah.
let's talk about what's going well
Yeah.
and reinforce those things. I don't mind the constructive discussions that are hard, and I think varying views has made this country the best country in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
let us never kumbaya to the point that we don't disagree, because that's not American.
Mm-hmm.
But let us be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Yeah.
discouraging me to read the letters to the editor that are just disparaging one another. And then, to me, if the tone that's taken with one another is to the point of disrespect,
Yeah.
that shame on both parties, whoever you're criticizing. And I think
Yeah.
there's a way. My dad wrote satire for the university school newspaper when
Mhm.
he was at Utah State University, and he would write in a way that was creative,
Mhm.
called out the facts,
Mm-hmm.
but wasn't outright,
Yeah.
not outright mean. But
Yeah.
he would raise the issues. I don't mind that kind of constructive discussion, but when you're just, it's almost evil to me. And I know that someone's,
Yeah.
that's exaggerated, but I think we ought to be tough on each other. We ought to demand more, and that's why I live in a rural, because we're more accountable. You litter in this town, you're likely to see the person that was behind you in the car. You're just
Yeah.
higher accountability, and I love it.
Yeah.
So my shout out is at me as well. Is let's be
Yeah.
accountable to one another, and let's strive for the best. But let's not self-destruct either.
And also community involvement. Be involved.
Yeah.
So if there are things that you're passionate about, you feel strongly about, and you want to see those things happen, then go make it happen.
Amen.
Go make it happen. Take the time and volunteer, or put forth the effort to do those things, and join with others, and
Yeah.
good things will happen.
One of those. Speaking of that, I try to look for volunteer opportunities when they're in need, or help promote it. There's a
Mhm.
website called Just Serve, which is a website designed to just be a go-to for anyone that wants to promote a service opportunity or wants to serve. And so I've learned about the Daughters of the Revolution and the reenactment of the signing of the Declaration.
1776.
Yeah, they said they were struggling to find volunteers, so I am going to be a soldier, not a
There we
running
go.
soldier. So I've never been to the event, and so
Yeah.
we're practicing on Friday, and rehearsal, and then we're actually doing it on Saturday night. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. But they're saying that in this world today, that you saw the articles in the paper, we're just struggling. People are not volunteering anymore.
Yeah.
We're becoming, for other reasons, economic, sometimes social, but boy, I hope rural settings, we don't lose our volunteer spirit, and
No.
so it makes things great.
Yeah, and we had Kathy Boone. She is the not president, not CEO. I forget the term, but she is the head of the Daughters of the American Revolution for this area, and also I forget the other lady that was with her, and Carol Bland is part of it. Yeah, and that's, I think it's their third year. It's in the high school auditorium this year, so it'll be really good for people that attended it in the Dome. I think it was not last year, maybe the year prior, because I think COVID, they were off a year. But the acoustics in the Dome, it's very challenging. It's challenging. It's fine for athletic events, but for a performance like that, not so good.
Yeah,
so
no.
yeah, so the high school auditorium will be wonderful, and it's great. They get people from all ages out there, so it's great to see young people that they can learn, see firsthand American history acted out, and they don't take any liberties, creative liberties.
They're actually reading.
They're going off of how it was documented and occurrences, things that happened.
It's not dramatized to where it loses the original.
Yeah, no Hollywood there.
language.
No Hollywood there.
I appreciate your shout out. It is,
Yeah.
9/11 was the National Day of Service,
Mhm.
and trying to make lemonade out of that terrible event,
Mhm.
lemons into lemonade. And so September's a great month to serve. I thought, I'm going to take my trash bag with me on my walk.
Mhm.
And I underestimated how much, when you're walking, a couple miles, you can, and so there's little things you can do that are, who are we when no one's watching?
Mhm.
Who really are we? And what do we do when no one's watching are some of the things that I think make America great. And I hope that we're all always trying to be our best. And improve who we are and give back. And Banner's trying to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I sent the football team. It's sure a lot of fun, the success they're having. And,
Oh yeah, 4-1.
so we're recruiting a general surgeon, and his sophomore son
Mm-hmm.
is a football player.
Uh-huh.
So I took a photo of one of the articles in the paper recently and
Yeah.
texted it to him, and I said, please share this with your son. And,
Yeah.
so it's fun when there's success in the community. It helps people want to come.
Mm-hmm.
The mountains, the trees, and the lakes and the streams make that easier. But when you add that, just the ambiance of the community's success, it helps us to bring the best to this community.
Yeah, and that was something I went to last year's Hall of Fame banquet. Didn't make it to this year's banquet, but the speakers really spoke on that. How there are no limits when it comes to the athletic programs here, or just anything we do in this community. There were some speakers that went on to be very successful collegiate athletes, and they did extremely well while in high school. And they contributed that to the support they got from the community, which is still there today. Our schools and our youth have great support from organizations like Banner and MHA Foundation and so many others, and individuals, small businesses, large businesses. It's great. And also coaching. So some of the coaches and the individuals we've had over the years that have been so dedicated to the youth in the community and their programs. It's amazing.
Sat with lunch at the chamber banquet with the boys basketball coach, and
Mhm.
he's just such a positive
Robert
guy.
Mavis.
I love him,
Mavis.
man. I had never met him before, and
Yeah.
I love the values
Mhm.
and the character building.
Mm-hmm.
You love to win on top of that,
Mhm.
but you're winning no matter what with that type of coaching attitude.
It's a culture,
It's
and
a
that's
culture.
what he has really emphasized, along with all of the other coaches. It's great seeing Coach Burke, football coach, high school player, won a state championship here with the team he played on, and him and his wife Christina, who's the softball coach.
Yeah.
Again, they understand that culture, and the most important thing is developing young people, developing those student athletes and character and who they are, and everything else will fall in line.
Some of these are going to be doctors taking care of us in our old age, so
Yeah.
let's help them out every way. We're grateful for your support, and grateful to have the athletic trainer out on the field and
Oh,
outside the
Josh.
sideline, and
Doing a great
a lot
job.
of good things. We're recruiting doctors. You always have some turnover in physicians, no matter
Mhm.
what you do. There's just going to be personal reasons and professional advances and different things, but we're always recruiting, and we appreciate the community's success that helps us in that venture.
What I've learned over the years is we have an incredible, amazing community here, but a small community isn't for everyone.
Amen.
And sometimes people will come to this community,
Amen.
they get drawn to this community, they're like, this is beautiful, oh, there's this. But then after they've been here a little while, they realize, wow, well, we don't have this, that you have in a metropolitan area or a larger community.
Yeah.
And it's not for everyone, and that's okay. The ones
Amen.
that it's for, they stay here, and they thrive here, and are a blessing to our community. The ones that it's not for them, hey, why would you want to keep someone hostage?
Exactly.
Don't
And
be.
some you warn and you talk about the downsides or the potential downsides, and they have to experience it for themselves. And
Mhm.
some think they'll only be here for 3 years, and like Dr. Munoz, God rest his soul,
Yeah.
beautiful memorial service for Dr.
Mm.
Munoz on Saturday. It was very inspiring. They stay for 40 years, and they only
Yeah.
intend to stay for 3. So may those that love it stay, and those that don't, remember it and cherish it.
Yeah.
And may those of us that love living here be able to have the best of all things that we can possibly together bring to Rim Country.
There you go. Amen. Well, it is a little after 10:30. It was great visiting with you. Thank you so much, Hoyt, for coming
Thank
in this
you.
morning, taking time out of your day, and thank you for everything that Banner Payson Medical Center is doing in our community.
Privilege and honor. Thank you.
Making a difference. And thank you everyone for listening. Also a big thank you to another company that is doing a lot in our community, and that's Desert Financial Credit Union. So thank you to them for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. Time to get back to the music with some Eddie Muddy, some Neil Young, the Monkees, Moody Blues, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
Forecast for Payson and surrounding areas.
All right, guys, have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful rest of your week.